Hello, goddesses. Hello, and welcome to the Holistic Guidance, the first one for August. So, as we wait for everybody to jump on, if you are jumping on live, say hello in the comments. I am back inside, although it's nice and sunny now. It was pouring rain, and this week when I did some lives, I wasn't getting any comments. So, I'm being hopeful that I'll be able to get some comments. I have my computer back. So hopefully that's going to work, but I think I need to do some upgrades, and that might be the reason that it's not coming through. I just tested it and it seems to be okay, and I would love to make sure. So just go ahead, if you're jumping on live, say hello, write it in the comments, and hopefully I'm going to see them. I've also opened it up on my computer. So let me just refresh that. So hopefully I'm going to get all the comments. Yay! I see it. It's coming through. I see the hello and I see the hellos. Hello, Goddess Diane. It's great to see you. So that is working. I'm just going to keep it open just in case. We never know. So this month, I want to talk about food. I want to talk about it because, first of all, I love it, and I know a lot of other people love it too. And it is so important in the midlife years to get the right foods. Hello, Goddess Bonnie. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. It's so nice to have you here. I'm so happy you could join in. So we're talking about food. And when I talk about the midlife years, let's be clear. We're talking about perimenopause, we're talking about menopause, and we're talking about postmenopause. And the only one we really know that we're in is postmenopause, because we've already been through perimenopause and menopause. So automatically we know that we're in postmenopause. But it's really tough to know if we're in perimenopause. And in perimenopause, let me just make a tiny little interjection about that. So perimenopause is when stuff starts to change, right? And we already know that when we go into puberty, so when we actually start our menstruations, there's a huge peak, right? The hormones just soar, and we know this if we have daughters, or we might remember this for ourselves. It's a huge change in our hormonal system, right? And that continues till we start perimenopause. And perimenopause is when all these changes start happening, and they can be very subtle, and they can, like, one change can happen and then nothing, and then something else happens and then nothing. And some women start really early in perimenopause. But, and this is what's important, the peak of perimenopause happens 1 year before you go into menopause. And that, beautiful goddesses, is a whole adventure on its own, right? And there should be, like, perimenopause should be broken down into two spaces, because perimenopause, like the year before menopause, is, wow, it really is quite a roller coaster ride. You will feel it physically, you'll feel it emotionally, definitely mentally, and it will affect your spiritual life as well. Now, it doesn't mean that it's negative, but there are changes, and most of them happen right there. In menopause, that's the year, right? In menopause, when everything has kind of stopped, right, for your menstruations. But the hormonal system is still adapting. In postmenopause, some women get no symptoms in perimenopause and mid-menopause, but they do get it in postmenopause. And some, it's different. So everybody's a snowflake. It's different for everyone, right? What's important to note is what you're eating. And during that time, always in your life, super important to be mindful of what you're eating. And during the midlife years, extra important. So, like, I wanted to start off with something that was really powerful. So, like, you know, we're doing 2 holistic guidance is a month, and the theme, and we're holding a theme. So the theme is all about food this month, and I really hope that you jump in, because we're going to be doing all sorts of fun things, and I'm also going to be coming in the group to do card pulls and readings and channels and all that, and some other yummy stuff. See what I did there? All right. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, welcome. My name is Isabelle, and I'm a certified naturopath and a holistic life coach, and I work with NLP and the Akashic Records and all these healing modalities, and bringing that in with physical healing. So we absolutely tap into vitamins, minerals, exercise, nutrition, what else? Herbs, food. Yes, absolutely. Because the goal is for you to feel calm and empowered, healthy and strong and confident and abundant throughout midlife. All right. So, all right, so let's take a look at what healthy eating during the midlife years really means. For me, and for the women that I work with one-on-one or in group programs, it always comes down to this main thing: energy, right? Yes, well-being, and yes, there are other issues that can come up, and we're going to be talking about that. What we really want to focus on is the energy, right? When we have energy, we can clear our minds and focus. When we have energy, we can go out and do stuff. When we have energy, we can cook. When we have energy, we can meditate. When we have energy, we can self-love and self-care. All these things so important. So with the energy, where we can choose to start, because we're going to be eating anyways, is to be eating mindfully to bring in energy. Do you like that? Let me know if this is starting to resonate. Send me some hearts and some thumbs ups if this is resonating. Perfect. Good. Okay. Now, one of the things you're going to notice is what you used to eat and what you used to drink before the midlife years is really different from how you feel. Let me rephrase that, because I didn't say that really well. Okay, so what you used to eat and drink before midlife years used to do certain stuff for your body and your mind and your entire being. Now, when you eat or drink those same things, you may notice that what it used to bring you is not working anymore, or it's giving you something different. So for example, I know plenty of women that used to eat bread and pasta and all that, and it used to be fine. It used to actually give them energy to go do some exercising, stuff like that. Now, during the midlife years, they're feeling like they're putting on more and more weight and feeling more and more tired, but they're still eating the same things. Does that make sense? It might not be bread or pasta or those kinds of things. It could be something else. Maybe you're just feeling like your energy level is lower, or you've had some weight gain, some strange weight gain that's not going to come off. Maybe it's allergic reactions, right? Some women are super healthy and they get to midlife in those 3 stages that I just mentioned, and they start having these funny, that seem like allergic reactions. Sometimes a runny nose, itchy skin, or itchy scalp. Sometimes at the bottom, like around your tibia, so under the knees. Other times they'll get some, like I was mentioning, weight gain, but specific places, like right here on their torso, and they've never had that before. Maybe it's sleep disturbances. They used to sleep wonderfully, or they didn't, and now they're like falling asleep everywhere. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but the foods that you used to eat might not be giving you the same results as before. And if those results are not positive, if they're not feeling like they're empowering you, and if they're bringing up symptoms, and be mindful, they might not all be physical symptoms, right? There are lots of women in midlife who start having stress and anxiety and who are nervous or emotional. They'll feel angry or sad and they're not sure why. Now, food, I know it might be strange, but food plays a huge part in feeling great during the midlife years. And when I mean great, I mean having the energy, allowing your body to stay healthy and strong, right? There's still like so many things that we want to do and goals that we want to reach. We want our body to support us through this journey. And the food that you eat on a regular basis, not the ones that you eat once in a while or the things that you drink once in a while, but the things that you do repetitively, and the things that you eat and drink and your daily routine, your daily diet, that will have a huge impact on how you feel. Now, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to share in the comments, if you want, how you're feeling. So it can be like a sentence or it can be just a word. Let me know how your body is feeling. Do you have lots of energy or you'd like more energy? Do you feel tired or problems with sleeping or your skin or other health issues, right? There's liver, there's headaches, hormonal system can give like huge headaches. I know a lot of women that are struggling with migraines and headaches and they never had that before. So that can definitely be from the hormonal system. Now, of course, when we work one-on-one, we can go and dive a little bit deeper into that and discover some history behind it and what exactly it is, kind of bring the symptoms up to go work on the causes. And when we work like this in a group setting, we're going to set a few things in so it becomes really easy to pinpoint, yep, there. Oh yeah, that there, right? That's what we want to do. So go ahead and jot in the comments how you're feeling. So make it simple so I can understand it. You can let me know if you're feeling like your body is great or if you'd like more connection spiritually, because food will also do that, right? We've heard it before. Fasting can make you feel more connected spiritually. Now, we're not going to talk about fasting, but I really love fasting and intermittent fasting. Well done, though. That's why I wrote a book about it. So Deanne says less energy, right? So what's important are the little things that we do to bring in the energy, right? So very important. If you have other comments, just go ahead and add them right there. Oh, Geeta, hello, beautiful. It's so nice to have you join us. So we're talking about food and how it affects us during the midlife years. And I was just asking to jot down in the comments if there's been changes, not necessarily just in your body, but maybe in the mind area. And Sabani says fatigued and sleepy. Yes, right? So fatigued, sleepy, lack of energy. Sometimes we'll even say, oh, I don't have that much motivation. And then we start doing something and it feels like the body is just kind of lagging behind, right? These are things that we can, not always and not necessarily specifically, but generally we can definitely help to get rid of with a change or a tweak in food, right? So let's start off. Let's see, where am I here? Okay, so the first thing to help bring changes there. And this, if you're up to it, we're going to be doing this throughout the month. So I encourage you to absolutely take note of this and go ahead and do it. Now, I know this is not a master class, so we're not like super diving deep, but it is a beautiful place to start. And as a community here, like throughout the sisterhood, we're all at different levels. And it doesn't matter if you're a newbie or you're super experienced with food, you can absolutely apply these steps. So this first step will be to start being mindful of how you're feeling when you eat, okay? So what does that mean? Specifically, it means before you eat, while you're eating, and after you're eating. And the best way to do that is to take it down. So open up a health journal, right? We have journals for everything. So just add one more, get a health journal. You write down the date, and you're gonna write down everything about your food, okay? Yes, you can tell me, well, not tell me, but write in the journal what you're eating. What's most important is how you're feeling around what you're eating. Do you get that? Okay, so for example, you're gonna take notes on when you get hungry, because the hours might change during midlife, but they tell a big story on how your body is processing food. Now, if you're never hungry in the morning, but you're always hungry at night, then we need to determine, is your body, with all its changes, has it taken in a resistance to assimilating, for example, proteins and good fats to kind of fuel your body throughout the day, all the way to the next morning. So these details can be super important to give us direction. So we want to know when you're feeling hungry, and use feeling words. I'm feeling like I want to eat this food because, and add, it doesn't matter if you don't know for sure, but you're a very good expert on yourself. We may not think so, and sometimes doctors tell us that we're not experts, but that's not true. We are experts for our own bodies. It's just sometimes we don't know that we are actually experts. And I want you to write down the symptoms, all right? So a symptom can be, I'm having trouble focusing and I feel like I need to eat to get my focus back. A symptom can be, I'm feeling sleepy, like Bonnie was saying, I'm feeling really sleepy, so I want to eat something to, feel energized again. A symptom could be, I have nausea. I feel like I'm going to be sick and I need to eat or drink something to wash that away. Now, these are all signs that there's something like a deeper layer under there. Is this making sense? Let me know if this is making sense to you. So then you write what you're going to eat, and you write the physical reaction that you have to it. So Bonnie, I'm going with you again, sweetheart. So let's say Bonnie writes, I'm feeling really sleepy and I really feel like having a coffee. Okay, so for example, so Bonnie is translating that her body is missing fuel. It's missing that fuel, yeah, that's a good word, that fuel to go forward and move forward with energy. So her craving, and these are just examples, her craving, let's say in this example, is coffee. So she's pulling in a quick fix. Now, coffee is something stimulating, so maybe what she needs is not protein, because protein is slow to digest, but maybe what she needs is more carbohydrates at the right time in the day to give her that extra fuel to have that energy when it's time, right? So, for example, and after that, I want you, after you've written how you, the symptoms that are coming up, write what you ate, and how you're feeling afterwards. So important. So let's keep the same example. Bonnie has her coffee. So how is she feeling after? Is she feeling kind of edgy? Is she feeling kind of relaxed? Is she feeling clear? What are the things she's feeling? Once we know that, then if ever you're being pulled towards something that is not healthy for you, then we can make the adjustments. But we want to take little baby steps because this is a daily process. It's a lifestyle. And if we go big and we go strong and we go just for a week and then everything just stops, then it's not really worth it. You're not creating massive change. And that's what we want. Is this making sense to all of you? Go ahead. Let me know if this is making sense. I'm going to take a sip. I also want you, good. Thank you. Perfect. I also want you to write down what you're being drawn to, food-wise, all the time. Okay? Yes, Bonnie says yes. Perfect. I want you to write it down what you're being drawn to. So let me give you an example. A lot of women say, I'm really drawn to chocolate. Okay? That happens a lot. 2 things, well, maybe 3, but mostly 2 things in chocolate. First of all, there's the sugar factor for a whole bunch of different reasons. So it could be energy-wise, but it could also be kindness-wise, right? So when you're being sweet to someone and lovey-dovey, right? Sweet, sweet, pulling in more sweetness. So it might be a lack of self-love or energy. So when we're talking about the sugar part, it could also be a lack of energy. And some people don't know this, but it could be the magnesium in the chocolate. So the magnesium and the potassium in the chocolate. So you could be drawn to this because you're actually feeling the lack of minerals in your body. Now just know that when your body is balanced out in the mineral department, you're going to feel strong, not agitated, just strong and powerful. So I want you to take note what you're being drawn to. Okay, so it's kind of 2 steps. Okay, first step is being mindful about how you're feeling and everything about your food. So I'm just gonna sum it up there, how you're feeling and everything about your food. And the second step is really what you're drawn to regularly. So maybe that you could do at the end of the week or at the end of a couple of days and just circle every time the same type of foods are coming up to give you an idea. Excuse me, to give you an idea of what may be lacking in your body or what may be in excess in your body as well. So, and I wanted to touch on this. I took note of this because this is very important. A lot of people tell me I like to eat and follow my intuition. And I love that, right? Because step number 2 is what you're drawn to. I like that, and that is awesome as long as you are feeling tip-top shape in every aspect, in every pillar of your life. Because there's a difference between intuition and your mind's eye saying, oh, I am in survival mode and I need this, go towards this, right? And it could be mistaken for intuitional eating, but it's not. It's survival eating, right? And you're gonna know if it's survival eating because you're not gonna feel great. When it's intuition eating, you eat and then you're like, you feel even better. You feel like an 11 on 10. Do you understand what I mean? Don't kid yourself. This is for your own well-being. Survival eating and intuitional eating are 2 very different things. Yes, perfect. Okay, so I want you to be mindful with that, but write it down. Don't fight it. You just keep going with it, but write it down so you become more and more aware of how you're feeling. That's exactly what we want. All right. So I would like you to take a moment and write down 2 or 3 symptoms that food has you struggling with. Okay, I'd like you to write that down in the comments so I can see most of us where we're struggling and with what. Is it with weight gain? Is it with allergies? Is it with energy? Is it with maybe it's self-love and self-acceptance, right? There's some people that will eat a lot or very little, and the issue that they're struggling with regarding food is self-acceptance and self-love. So I'd like you, and even if you're not sure, that's fine. We're gonna go with the intuition. Just write it down in the comments. I'd like to know 2 or 3 symptoms that food has you struggling with. And sometimes it can even be bigger health issues, right? It can be diabetes, or it could be, you know, cancer in the digestive tract somewhere in the intestine or something like that. So it could be bigger health issues. I'd like you to write them down in the comments so we know where there's more struggle, and I'll be able to come and support you on that end. All right. Okay, so while you're doing that, let me just make sure that the comments are coming in. If ever you've written comments and I have not addressed them live, I'm going to circle back and I'm going to check them because, you know, sometimes it happens. All right, so this month we are talking about food for the midlife woman and how she can align to that food to feel freaking awesome. Okay, that is what we're doing. And I'm going to come on throughout the month doing different things, but always bringing in some information regarding food. So Bonnie says wait. Okay, so hun, what you're going to do throughout the month, right? At first, you're going to write down what you're being drawn to and why. The why is so important. It's going to teach you so much on yourself. And as we move throughout the month, your goal might be to eat things that you love just as much, but that are less calorie dense, right? And how it affects my stomach problems and comfort. Yeah. Okay, so that is very common. And just a side note, most women that are feeling discomfort in their stomach when they eat is a lack of enzymes. Producing less enzymes as we age is common. And during the midlife years, sometimes it's just during that small period of time, stuff is not being produced like it was being produced, and it might cause digestive issues. So I want you to write it down because it might not be that at all. It could just be food combination that is not working for you anymore, or a lack in minerals or vitamins. All right, Bonnie, so I want you to write those things down. Okay, so let's recap really quick. You're going to be writing down, if you're up to it, you're going to be writing down what you want to eat, how it's affecting you if you eat it or if you don't, right? Write all that in. And if you do eat it or you don't eat it, how you end up feeling. So I want all that information in there for you to start seeing more clearly on how food is working with you. And in the second, when we do our second life, then we'll go more deeply into what to bring in. But before we bring new stuff into our diet, let's clean up what's already there, right? That makes sense. We start with what we have and then we pull some new stuff in. Got it? Okay, so if ever the symptoms are really big and you're feeling like what we've talked about is super resonating with you, and you'd like to relieve some of the symptoms around food and how it's affecting you during the midlife years, then I definitely encourage you to book a goddess alignment session with me. And this call is really to help bring in clarity around your next best steps and what could help you. And it's also to see if I can support you to get you there. So if that's resonating, go ahead and just book a call. I'll put the link to my agenda up on top. If you have questions, put them in the comments. And I hope this is exciting. It's really exciting. So I want you to see it as something wonderful that you're stepping into, right? It's like cleaning, but not cleaning. It's like cleaning, making room for good and yummy and powerful and exciting and energy and all that great stuff. Because as midlife women, we are just getting to the party, right? Makes sense? Okay, beautiful goddesses. Thank you so much for coming on. And I am really excited to go through this month with all of you. Thank you for the love and the feedback and the hearts, sending some hearts right back at you. And I will see you very soon. Bye for now.